So my podcast this week is about gender representation in video games that children may play in their lifetime and how they may affect how they think of women in the real world. The portrayal of women in video games or other media, may it be videos, YouTube videos, games, social games, or something like that, is a big research point for people in the gender studies program or gender studies research department or something like that, because it has a lot to do with the sexism in video gaming. Women are the most underrepresented as characters in the mainstream games, and their portrayals often reflect the traditional gender roles, sexual roles, or negative stereotypes that may be like damsel in distress, a sexy woman, or something like that. Children often can't connect the dots and see that these women in video games that might be dressing in the slinky clothes, the big breasts, the big eyebrows, or something like that, is not how women are represented in the real world. Women in the real world range from mothers to homemakers to mom and homemakers, and that may have the things that they are seeing in the video games today. According to Entertainment Software Association, I found this fact on the website tonight. 48% of all American video gamers, game players in 2014 were women. But in contrast, in 2014, all the gamers in the UK and Spain, more were women than men. 52% were women and 48% of them were male. Both men and women play video games, but studies have seem to suggest differences in platform and the game genre preferences. Males are typically wanting to play the sport games, Grand Theft Auto, something like that, while the women want to play Mario Kart or Dance Dance Revolution or something like that. And studies have shown that some genres tend to attract one gender over another, like I just said. The portrayal of women in video games have been subject to many studies and many discussions since the early 1980s. And many of the themes that have been coming back year after year, or study after study, is the sexual objectification and sexualization of characters, and how female characters are independent from their male counterparts in the game. Exposure to sexualized media represents reputations of women in television and magazines, or reduce male compassion towards women, and reduce female perception of the desire and suitability to various vocations. That just means like men are less compassion towards women, and women have a reduced perception of the desire than they were before these games started to come out, basically. So Sorry, I'm really sick today, so. Many early female video game characters, such as Miss Pac-Man, are identical to existing male character parts, besides the except the visual marker of the females is the pink bows or lipstick or long eyelashes or something like that. In the early ages, like Pac-Man, they really didn't need to do a whole different person and up the female counterpart. They could be the same, but just a little different. In video games, the major stereotype myths of women are typically the damsel in distress, hypersexualized villain, like in the sexy, strong best friend from like Final Fantasy. I've been playing the Final Fantasy since a few years ago, and I think that's the biggest myth. In all these instances, the female character is in love with a male person and desperately trying to bang him. That is like how many games are today. In those games, it is always about the sex or the sexual villain or something like that. However, female characters are often cast in the role of damsel in distress, and what they wanted the rescues or how they want the rescues to be the objective of the games, like Princess Zelda or the Legend of Zelda series or Princess and the Peach in the Mario games. In Mario Kart in the early years, Mario had the objective to rescue the young princess named Peach. Peach was shown to have the pink dress with the blonde hair, and then she was kidnapped and trapped in the castle by the character Bowser. I grew up with these games. I know these games. And Bowser was shown as a turtle. Well, Princess Peach appears in 14 of the main Super Mario games and is kidnapped in 13 of them. Think about that. There's 14 Super Mario games, and 13 of them, Princess Peach is always kidnapped or held hostage or something like that by a villain. The only game that she was not kidnapped was the Super Mario 2. But she was a character that can be played. Her character had the ability to jump the farthest, and then Zelda kind of followed that. Zelda became the Lady Zelda became playable in the later games of Legend of Zelda. Like the newer Zelda games, I've seen my brother being the Lady Zelda was being able to do more and more and more in the game than other characters. So the women are coming out into these games more likely now. More recent games have increased the sexual portrayal of women, so it appeals to male audience more. Tomb Raider, is a series of games that have been talked about and not disliked because of the unrealistic breast sizes. The main character, one of the main characters, was claimed to have an ongoing cultural clash of over gender, sexuality, empowerment. But in Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider Legend, she went under a radical redesign, and she became less sexualized in these games. I haven't played Tomb Raider much because I don't like how the women are represented in the earlier games. But after doing this research, I may play it a little more because I did not know that she became less sexualized in these games than I have found out doing this research today. There are three main stereotypical deceptions of women in video gaming: sexualized, scanty clad, which is mainly the clothes and everything that she wears, and then the vision of beauty. I think if I was a child or a parent playing these video games and have my child play them as well, I think that can influence how the children perceive themselves or others around them. If a child sees a unrealistic breast-sized woman in video games and they go out in the real world, like at Target, Walmart, or something, and see a woman with less sized boobs or something like that, they might not think, hey, that's not right. They're not right. They're not normal. But in reality, there's no normal woman. There's no cultural vision of a woman. The gender roles internalized by young individuals have a significant impact upon the perspectives and additional roles they assume in later life. Like adult male who have been playing this game for years and years and years may not want to see a woman with small breasts or something like that. They might want to see the type of woman they see in the video games. They don't want to see that there's a difference in video games and real life, which there is. And I think women being representation in these video games are impacting how we think of women in real life today. And I think that's an important topic because women in video games are now like the sexy damsel in distress or something like that. And not all women in video games should be represented like that. I think there should be more games that women are the main characters doing, like making the money for the family or something like that. I often don't play video games very much anymore because I'm so busy, but like I don't know. I just think that the video game world should have change their views on women and how they're represented in the video games today. So that is my podcast for today. Sorry, I was really sick today, so okay.